There you go.
Hi.
Perfect. So, Ariel, how are you today?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm doing good as well. Thank you so much. So, welcome to the show. It is so cool and amazing to have someone with such a talent as you. Let me tell you that. So, before we start, I have to give you a proper welcome. If you have seen some of my episodes before, you know exactly what I'm about to do. If not, let me show you that.
Okay.
There you go. Love it. Epic, I know.
I love it. It is very epic.
There you go. So welcome to the show. As I said, it is so cool and amazing to have someone with a talent, with a career as yours. So, starting with everything here, tell me how your acting career started.
Okay. So my acting career got started roughly around 20. I was in university and I had this feeling in my heart that I had to go and be an actor. I always loved the arts, but I was doing academia in university.
Okay.
My parents really wanted me to continue and complete my degree, but I just had to leave university and I went to acting school. So I did that. And it was wild and I got my ass kicked by, the film biz, but I think it was worth it.
I love it. I do think that it was worth it. So at first, when you were recently started, and because I think that it happens to us every single time, right? But whenever we're starting something, we just don't know what we're doing, and it's a very heavy learning curve. But like, what kept you going to continue growing your career?
Oh man, yeah, there were so many moments where I didn't know what I was doing. But I think I had that small call within my heart that was just like, keep going, and I was willing to do anything. I was just very drawn to work in film and television. I loved storytelling, and then so I would literally jump out of any window or do anything crazy. I would lay in a barn in the freezing cold to get the perfect shot. And I think, you don't necessarily have to do that anymore, or necessary to put yourself at risk. But I think following that instinct, if you have that little seed of inspiration to follow that, yeah.
Okay. I love it. I love that. That is really cool. So in 2006 to 2011, you were in Need for Speed Carbon and Greasy Soul. Tell me, were those some of your first projects, and what are some of the things that you learned from those to continue growing with your career?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So I think that Need for Speed was my first official acting role, and it was in a video game, so it's a little different. But it's similar to being on a big film set. It's just the pictures digitized, and we were wearing a ton of makeup. I was head to toe painted, and I had really crispy, crazy hair. And I think it was my first foray into the long and crazy hours that you get on film sets. I'd heard about it, but I didn't really know what it was like to be on set for 17 hours. And my whole body was painted. So I was I don't know, 20 years old, and I was super sleepy, probably partying the night before, and couldn't lay down because I was painted head to toe, waiting for them to call me back. And so it was very, very, very uncomfortable, let me tell you. And I think what I learned from that one was definitely don't party the night before you shoot. I was tough though. I think I got over it pretty fast. But I think to kind of advocate for, sometimes you're going to be wearing things that are really uncomfortable. You're going to be waiting around. And so figuring out at that point, negotiating with the wardrobe and the makeup of what's something that I can wear for a really long time, where I'll be able to rest when need be. It's really important. It sounds really silly and small, but when you're waiting around in that kind of attire or something really uncomfortable, it can totally make or break your day. So yeah. And then Greasy Soul was really fun. It was totally opposite. My friend directed it. It was one of those sets where I got to play, I got to learn and try different things, and it was really out there. So that was totally polar other side of the spectrum. but I think having both was nice to learn from.
Okay. That is badass. So then in 2013, you were in Concrete Blondes, Burning Feeling, and Red Runway. So tell me, like, how you usually get ready to prepare a character. I mean, I understand, of course, that depends on the role, but like, what usually sets you off into this journey, let's say, in which you are creating you're basically creating somebody.
Yeah. I think you're right. Every character requires something different, and some of them are really close to who you are.
Totally.
Just like you get it, and then some of them are a little bit more farther away, and then the size of the role obviously depends. And then so Concrete Blondes was so much fun because this character, I felt like she was kind of like a heightened version of me. It was for Comedy Central, and her name was Piper, and she's a stoner artist, like really out there. She's like on a whole other planet.
Okay.
I'm not a stoner or anything like that, but I definitely have like my moments of like having to come back and ground back into like being here in reality, because I'm quite dreamy. And so I just really played on those qualities that I had in myself for Piper, and it was just really fun to play and be loose with. Yeah, it was I will never forget. It was such a special she'll have a special place in my heart forever. And then the other ones, they were like, I was in a flashback scene of a girl that dated this very promiscuous guy, and he was trying to figure out who gave him the STI. And so it wasn't really like, it was more of a flashback. Nothing too crazy that I had to prepare. I just had to be, yet again, like a whimsical lady in the past. And, I guess it just depends for every role, but I definitely love to play the out there, the weird, the wild, or like the height.
I love it. And let me tell you that your performances are amazing. I did watch some, like some clips here and there in order to get the idea, and let me tell you that they're super cool.
Thank you.
And what aspect would you say it's important when you are in this process of character creation?
Well, I think the most important aspect is to kind of trust your instincts. And I think for any creative endeavor, it's really, really important to kind of give your creativity an opportunity to guide you. And I think that like inspiration can come from anywhere. It can come from watching, doing like a lot of actors love to do research, doing, watching YouTube or reality TV sometimes, or documentary, or sometimes inspiration can just come when you're walking down the street and you see somebody who has a quality that's just like the character, or from like your own dream. So it can come from anywhere, but I think it's just having that openness when you're creating a character is really.
I love it. I love that. And what are some of the things that you enjoy the most when you were also in this process of character creation?
What are some of the things that I enjoy the most? I just love when I'm in that sense of trust, and I'm able to get into the flow and trust myself, because it's the worst when you I don't know if you get this when you're working, but like that inner critic comes along and just stops you from being able to explore or be creative or see from a new point of view. So my favorite thing in the world is just like sinking into that trusting, that creative space, and knowing that like I have something to tap into that's bigger than me. That makes sense.
Yeah. I do know what you mean. I do have that voice. Yeah. Pretty much every time.
Yeah. The inner critic.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. Like that minion in your head, it's crazy.
Asshole, hey?
Yeah, totally asshole. But anyway, then we can see you in even more projects, such as Cheat, Smoke, Mercy, Regional Madness, Be Still. I mean, the list goes on for so many epic things that you have done. But tell me, like in general, what would you say it's important for storytelling?
Yeah. So I think the through line that I can think of through all of those and what made those films successful, and what I learned from those is the relationship piece component between in storytelling, because I feel like we don't, we humans are drawn to storytelling because it reflects an inner part of us. Like it's a mirroring in a way, and it can be very inspiring, and
Totally.
all kinds of things in you, hopefully. But I think that the relationship piece is so important, and I think you see films that aren't really cohesive or don't really make sense or don't really inspire in that way. I think usually it's like a relationship piece is missing, and it's not completely cohesive, and it's like a thinner story because it's not really looking at the whole.
Okay.
But yeah, I think we all need each other, and we all affect each other in different ways. That's the through line.
I love it. Then you were also in Nancy Drew. What can you tell me about that project?
Yeah, that was such a delight. That was this past year, and I had I booked just like a day on it as this character Cora, who's the keeper of the town. She uses a bit of magic, and she's very puritanical. And then I luckily somehow got invited back for a couple more episodes and got a glorious death in the end. I hope I don't spoil anything, but it was so cool. And working with the cast, the cast and the crew, they're just so they're so professional. They've been doing it for 3 seasons. It's just such a cool thing to witness. It's like a beautifully orchestrated scene.
Yeah, they also did a video game, right?
Nancy Drew?
For Nancy Drew.
Did they? I don't know. Probably.
Yeah, I do, because I don't know if it is like the same one, but I interviewed somebody who was the voice of Nancy Drew. Her name is Brittany Cox.
Oh, I'm sure. That's so cool. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, you definitely need to check it out. The interviews are on my page.
Okay, I will do that.
Okay. Don't forget to subscribe. That's amazing. Love it. And like at the moment, what has been some of the highlight moments from your acting career?
The high moments or the highlights?
The highlight moments, yeah.
I think there's been so many. But you interviewed my best friend Stephanie Isaac. I don't know if you knew.
Oh yeah, she's amazing. Yeah. Huge shout out to her.
Yeah, I know. Hi, Steph. But her and I, and my husband and another friend of ours, we made an indie film in France, a short film, and that was quite the experience. So it helped out with the writing, producing, did acting. We did everything, and that was a big, exciting time for sure. I wish I could do that. But that was a highlight. I went to Nicaragua to do a Martin Garrix's film, like a short film for one of his videos. That was such a delight. It was so much fun as well. So I love like the smaller, more intimate projects where you get to be nice and creative.
Yeah, totally. Wow, that is so cool. That is one of the cool things that I love about doing this, that I get the chance to sometimes interview the friend of this one, or or I will end up interviewing like 2 people who are like in the same acting school, or also I've discovered that some of the people that I interview are following other people that I'm interviewing. It's like this network, and I'm like, that's so cool. You
are creating a network.
I love it.
Yeah, and bringing people together and inspiring people.
There you go. That's what we're all about here. And tell me, so you also, besides acting, you also produce Reasonable Madness. Tell me, what are some of the things that you enjoy the most about producing?
Okay, so that was the one that I did with Stephanie. So my husband, he was like the main organizer, producer, director on that one. We were helping him producing. So it was, I think my favorite thing about it was, I think the learning I got to go full in, and I realized just how challenging that role is, and how much energy and how much planning and just everything that goes with it. And we were shooting guerrilla style in France, and so we were very optimistic, I think, while planning. And and for a guerrilla movie, I feel like you need to have like a plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D. Like, you know, so many plans, because anything can happen.
Totally.
Or people, or, you know, some locations telling you to go away, or there's a million things that could go wrong. So I think it was like equally as exciting when things went well and people were on our side and willing to help. And then when things went wrong, it was just quite the learning experience. But it was really fun to just go with the flow. And I haven't produced anything, I don't think, since, because it was wild. But one day.
Love it. That is so cool. And what do you think that are usually some of the challenges that someone might have during the production process? I mean, would that be, as you just mentioned, the fact that you need a plan A, B, all the way to the Z, basically, and all of that?
Oh yeah, I think that you have to, like, I think it's wonderful to be optimistic for sure and have walk in there with hopes. But I think you need to be one of those people who can foresee any possible thing that will go wrong,
Okay.
and have a remedy and have a solution for it, and be able to think fast on your feet, and while keeping everybody in the crew and in the cast and everybody that you're working with comfortable while things might be going sideways, and just maintaining your calm. So I think it takes a special person to be able to handle that role gracefully.
I love it. I love that. That's true. Now, besides, I mean, you also wrote Reasonable Badness. I mean, you were involved in the whole writing. But tell me, like, how you usually get inspired to start writing, and yeah, like what sets you off to start writing, basically.
That one was we were, again, very experimental with the whole process. We wanted it to be natural because it was guerrilla style, so we had plot points that we had created through our writing. We all there was about, well, it was Stephanie, my husband, and myself, and we created the plot. And then we actually shared a lot of our personal stories that were connected to what these characters were going through and how we overcame those hurdles or not, as well as we did quite a bit of research. I interviewed some, because my character was in the music industry, so I interviewed some people in the music industry and learned a lot about what it's like to, she was kind of a manager or assistant to a manager, so learned a lot about that. And then there was adultery, so I interviewed some people around that, lots of research on YouTube, and just gathering all kinds of information and then putting it in where I saw fit. That was I don't know how efficient it was, but I learned a lot.
I like it. I like that very much. And what advice could you give, to those who are recently started their acting career?
What advice? I say absolutely 100%. If you have that call, that seed, that inspiration in your heart, I say go for it. Through action, you'll build confidence, and I don't think anybody starts anything new without confidence. So not be scared.
Yeah.
If you're not feeling confident right out of the gate, that comes just by doing. But another one that I wish I listened to my mom, and she's gonna love this, is that I wish that I just finished university for like 2 more years. And I know when you're 20, you're like, 2 years, it's a lifetime. I'm gonna be too old at 22. But seriously, do complete something so that you have just a little bit more confidence when you're going into acting, and you have a little bit more edge. So having like a side hustle or a job that doesn't steal your soul is really important, because you need energy to pursue this.
Totally.
Because it's a grind. It can be a grind, and lots of ups and downs. So that would be someone. But
I love that. But it's true, actually. It's true. I think that, like, especially during yeah, when you're in the process of creating something that you love, like your own project here, it is challenging because 100% of the results depend on you. It's not like it's not like a very other regular job in which you can be lazy here and there, and you're gonna receive your paycheck and you're like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And here you're like, if I get lazy, just nobody's gonna do anything. Like nobody is gonna to kind of help me out on this,
Yeah.
or I'm gonna receive, like either way, I will be receiving like a paycheck. You know what I mean? It is
Yeah.
challenging.
Yeah, it's a big leap, and you have to have the energy to keep going. So there's not really a lot of shortcuts that you can do. It's that gusto to get you through that, like, gut of like, this is right, I need to keep going. But it can be hard.
Yeah, totally. I couldn't agree more. Now, if you could describe your career at the moment, but on a movie, TV show, book, or even a play, why not? What would be the title of it?
That is a hilarious question. Like my career right now in this moment.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, I don't even know. I want to say something ridiculous like Jurassic Park or
Fair enough.
Facts. I don't know why, but it seems fixed. No, I know. The Labyrinth. Have you seen The Labyrinth?
Mm-hmm.
David Bowie. I don't know. I'm gonna go with The Labyrinth.
Interesting.
It's
okay.
That is an epic movie to me.
Oh yeah. I can agree. Yeah. Wow. And if you could describe your career, but this time on a drink, which one would you choose?
I would choose sparkling wine for the bubbles and the effervescence. But
That's fancy.
What?
That's fancy.
It's fancy, but it's not too fancy because it's still sparkling wine. But also to pace yourself, because if you drink too much, you get a headache, and it's not good.
Yeah, you don't want to get a headache because of drinking wine.
Yeah, it's the worst.
Yeah, it's the worst.
Moderating, enjoying the bubbles, and don't let it get flat.
Yeah. Please, don't try that. Yeah,
that's a good question.
Love that. And like my last question here is, what motivates you? I mean, we all have those days, right, in which we just want to quit. We just we think that we are done. That we that we haven't done a very cool job here. We think that maybe people don't like it the way that you think that others should like. Like you get into this whole toxic. Basically, you get into the toxic train. And you start to create a lot of toxic thoughts here and there. So what gets you out of these toxic thoughts and just continuing pursuing what you love the most, which is acting?
Yeah, that is a really, really good question. I think that there's a couple things that motivate me. So I think the first thing is I like to focus on my wins, because I think that this industry can be also really toxic, or with a lot of people. It can be taboo to talk about your past roles. It's always like, what's coming up. But oftentimes some people don't have things coming down the pipes, or there is a lot of uncertainty. So it can make you feel like, if that's where you're focused and you're not focused on all of the things that you've accomplished and how far you've come, then you can lose your way a little bit. So reminding myself that I have come far, that good things are coming for sure, but that a lot of things have been achieved, especially maybe it's not like, for me it's not all about credits. For me it's about stepping out of my comfort zone and growing into the person that I feel like I'm meant to be, and becoming more confident and helping others. That's also really inspiring. So looking back at those types of things motivate me. And then also I do coaching as well with actors, and more like career kind of coaching, and seeing what they achieve and what they come up with. It's just so motivating for me. It's really rewarding. So that as well keeps me going in those moments where you're like, I can't.
I love that. I love that, Ariel. I mean, at the end, what can I say? I mean, your career is super cool here. I'm super sure that eventually we're gonna see you and more involved into more things. You know, we're gonna see you involved into so many, yeah, into so many epic stuff here and there. It is amazing. It is super cool. It is super awesome, and I can't wait to see more of it. And the fact that you were doing it, as I said, and also to some of the actors that I've interviewed as well. I mean, I do consider you guys to be kind of the living proof that dreams come true. You know, and we tend to see only the highlights. You know, we the audience, we will only see the highlights, but we don't know anything about all the hard work that was behind of it. So the fact that you're doing it and it's working, that is really cool. It is impressive, and as I said here, I'm super sure that yeah, basically at some point, I mean, who knows? Maybe an action figure too. You know what I mean? So
That'd be sweet. I'd love that. No, you're right. I think having these conversations are really important to see the other side of what people go through in order to get where they are, and that is also really, really inspiring. So thank you.
I love it. I love it. And also, I want to thank those who are watching. I mean, thank you so much. Also, if you're watching this later here on Instagram or on YouTube, or you're listening even, I mean, also on Spotify or Apple Music, make sure that you're following Ariel in all of our social media. You know, normally what I would say is for you to put pause. Then you're gonna leave a like, subscribe, follow. It helps a lot to grow. Yeah, it helps me a lot to continue growing this channel here. And then, since it's holidays, well, we're still kind of in holidays, so go eat a cookie. You know, spoil yourself for a bit before starting the diet and all the hard work. And then you definitely go follow Ariel. Make sure, yeah, that you're supporting all of our content. I mean, let's spread the word here that we have this amazing content actress here. And also, if it is your birthday, happy birthday. If it is a good day for you, keep having it. Hope that this video also helped for your day to keep being awesome. And Ariel, before I send you off, I need to send you off properly in an epic way, so you know what's coming. I love it. I love it. And yeah, keeping awesome, keeping amazing, and I'll see you in the next one.
Thank you, Dan. You keep being awesome and amazing too. I really
thank you so much. I'll see you soon.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye everyone.